यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर, गोकुल रंजन काना, गोकुल रंजन काना, गोपी परन धन मदन मनोहर, गोपी परन धन मदन मनोहर, कालिया दमन विधाना, कालिया दमन विधाना, अमल हरि नाम अमिय विलासा, अमल हरि नाम अमिय विलासा, विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोरा, विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोरा, बंशी बदन सुवासा, बंशी बदन सुवासा, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर। ब्रज जन पालन असुर कुल नाशन, ब्रज जन पालन असुर कुल नाशन, नंद गोदन रखवाला, नंद गोदन रखवाला, गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर, गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर, सुंदर नंद गोपाला, सुंदर नंद गोपाला, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर। जमुना तट चर गोपी बसन हर, जमुना तट चर गोपी बसन हर, रास रसिक कृपा माया, रास रसिक कृपा माया, श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर, श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर, भक्ति विनोदाश्रय, भक्ति विनोदाश्रय, यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर, विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नागर भोरा बंसी बदन सुहासा यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर यशोमति नंदन ब्रजबर नागर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. I warmly welcome devotees for this next session of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we shall be dealing with Karma Yoga, continuing from the 17th shloka to 30th shloka. So I hope all of you have already read the shlokas. I have already sent the audio. I will also sincerely request all of you to read the purports, what Srila Prabhupada has given in Bhagavad Gita as it is. This entire class will be based on what Srila Prabhupada has given, the purports, and Srila Prabhupada's purports have all been taken from previous acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan, who were all pure devotees of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada comes in the same parampara, he is another pure devotee. In that sense, we are all extremely fortunate that whatever Lord Krishna meant in Bhagavad Gita, we are able to get that. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is delivered to us with the help of the commentaries of acharyas. All the scriptures become more meaningful, more decipherable for us when we read them under the guidance of acharyas. So that is our good fortune that we shall be continuing it today. Once again, I welcome all of you. Now we will start with Mangalacharanam prayers. I request all of you to join me in these prayers. This is for invoking all auspiciousness for the conduct of this session, so that all of us should be able to benefit from what we are going to hear and meditate on. I also hope that all of you are having the book, a notebook and a pen handy. Important points, whatever strikes you, you please note it down. If you like, you can later on share it with me. If you take notes and later on revise them, you may get deeper understandings or sometimes doubts. So these doubts you can always ask me back. One unique feature of ISKCON, by now you would all have observed, is that we entertain questions. Not that we say keep on listening, you don't ask questions, you are not competent to ask questions. We don't say that. Yes, definitely, to understand the answers we need to advance, but even then, asking questions is encouraged. The mood of asking questions is that the acharyas know the truth. Bhagavad Gita is the spoken word of Krishna. It is perfect. Acharyas are perfect, but I am not perfect. So I am getting some doubts. I will be very grateful if you can answer these doubts and you can remove them so that I can understand Gita more clearly. So in that mood of humility, doubts must be asked. Doubts are always welcome. Prabhupada started this tradition that at the end of every class, there will be a question and answer session. Not that the speaker will walk off once the lecture is over and whatever doubts you have in your mind, you have to carry them with you. It is not like that. Even if you cannot get the answers today, you can always ask in the next session, or you can send a message to me. The more you question, the more happy we become, because it gives us a message that you are actually listening and you are serious. So our seriousness and sincerity will help us to progress more and faster. Thank you. Let us start Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। So with our sincere prayers to the Guru Parampara, to Arjun and to Lord Krishna, who personally spoke this message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, to help all the fallen souls of Kali Yuga to come back home, back to Godhead. So this material world is full of suffering, and we always question why God created a world like this, that it is full of suffering. But as we read Bhagavad Gita, the Lord very clearly explains, I meant it to be a place of suffering. Anityam asukam lokam, Krishna would say. Anityam, temporary place. So he is constantly reminding, it's a temporary place, anityam. So you may say, no, the world is going on for a long time, but anyway, we come and go for a very short time. We come and go for a very short time. The times are changing, places are changing, yugas are changing, and we come and go. And even when we are here, we are constantly undergoing changes, from baby to little older boy or girl, then we become young men, young women, then middle age, old age, and then we are gone. So we are undergoing constant changes. So this world is anityam. Nothing is permanent here. Nothing is permanent. Asukham. This is not a place for happiness, Krishna says also. Anityam asukam lokam. Imam prapya bhajasva mam. Krishna says, get out of this place. Just remember me and get out of this place quickly. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, this material world is like a public toilet. Public toilet. Why do you go into a public toilet? You have to do your business quickly and get out. That's all. Even when you are sitting there, your nose closed like that. It's a stinking place, material world. So sometimes people question there cannot be a God because there is so many imperfections in this world. But if you see Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says it is a perfect world because it was meant to be imperfect. Krishna says it is an imperfect world. I meant it to be an imperfect world. So Krishna's will has been achieved. How can you ask that there should be greenery in the desert? How can you have greenery? Desert means it's a desert. This material world is a place of suffering. Mamapetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam, Krishna says. Dukkhalayam. It's a collection of misery. Ashashvatam, temporary. See, again and again. Ashashvatam, anityam, dukkhalayam, asukham. So, Krishna is very clearly telling us that this place is meant for suffering. Then we ask Krishna, why did you make this place like that? And why did you put me here? Then the answers come. And then we become very happy. As we get the answers, we become very happy. As we become happy, we become grateful. As we become grateful, we start loving Krishna. As we start loving Krishna, the love keeps growing. There is no end to it. That is how Bhagavad Gita guides us. Okay? So now we are on the third chapter, Karma Yoga. So the title is Doing Prescribed Duty to Purify the Self. We have been given prescribed duty. Many of you will be wondering, where is the prescribed duty? I don't know. Yeah, but when you read Bhagavad Gita, you come to know, yes, there are prescribed duties. And we should do our prescribed duties, only the prescribed duties. And the two, we have already seen, we should not do it with any attachment to the fruits. We should not expect the results, but we have to do our duty. So before we proceed further, may I ask you to post in the chat. I will ask you a few questions. What question did Arjuna ask at the commencement of this chapter? Briefly, you can put, what was the question that Arjuna asked at the commencement of this chapter when he started with a question? What is that question? And a second question also you can take. In reply, Krishna mentioned the names of two yogas. What are these two? You can answer one by one, or you can put both answers in the same box. What was the question of Arjun? And what two names of yoga that Krishna gave at the commencement of this chapter? Yes, answers started coming. Sujit Jana Prabhu says, Sannyas versus Karma. And Shiv Kumar Prabhu says, which yoga is better, Karma Yoga or Sankhya Yoga? That's a very theoretical question. What was the anxiety of Arjun? What anxiety did Arjun express? Sumi Ravi Mataji is saying, if intelligence is better than fruitive work, why do you engage me in war? In the second chapter, Krishna spoke nicely, so much philosophy. He spoke about Siddha Pragya. He sees everything equally. There is nothing victory or defeat to him. He doesn't have any attachment to anything. He's totally detached from all material results. And Siddha Pragya, what is day for the karmi? It is night for the yogi. All that Krishna was telling. At the same time, Krishna was telling you fight. So Arjun was asking, but if it is better to be a jnani, then why you ask me to fight? That was the question. And Krishna gave the names of two yogas. Those two names have not come out yet. I will tell the answers. The two yogas are Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has some more names called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga or working in Krishna consciousness. Or Nishkamya Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is meant Nishkamya Karma Yoga or work in Krishna consciousness. So these are the two yogas about which Krishna mentioned. So Krishna said they are actually interdependent. They are very similar. Sankhya Yoga means, can you type what is Sankhya Yoga? What is Sankhya Yoga? Yes, Vikas Prabhu has also mentioned, if intelligence is better, then why you want to fight? Right, yes. Sankhya Yoga is analysis. Analysis of what? 'What? What do we analyze in Sankhya Yoga? And what do we find by that analysis? Okay. There it comes. Sumati Suresh Mataji says soul and body. So we are analyzing, looking at the world around us, what is dead and what is alive. Within my own body, there is a dead portion and there is a living portion. I say I am alive, but I never die. So, but something in this body is actually not alive. Same with the whole world around us. It's a combination of the living and the dead. The material world is called Jada Prakriti. It's non-living. But there are so many living entities. How is it possible? They are all spirit souls. They don't belong to this material world. So by Sankhya Yoga, we are able to understand that I am not this body. I am not the senses. I am not the mind. I am not the intelligence. I am not the false ego. All these are dead. All the sensory objects around me, they are all dead. And the soul within is alive, like a bird sitting on a tree. The soul is alive. So by this process, Sankhya Yoga, we understand, oh, I am not the body only. So what happens to the body is not affecting me at all. It is only by illusion. I think what is happening to the body is actually happening to me. So by Sankhya Yoga, one will arrive at a point of detachment from this body, saying this body is not that one day this body will die. This body is always dead. It is only by the presence of the soul within, like a toy which operates with the help of a battery, or like a car which runs with the help of a driver inside, or an aircraft with the help of a pilot. Like that, this body is always dead. By the presence of the soul, it appears alive. So Sankhya Yoga leads you to the point that I am a spirit soul. And at that point, you understand that I am a spirit soul, and where did I come from? I came from the spiritual world. And who is there in the spiritual world? Lord Krishna is the spiritual world. So there is a relationship between me and him. So Sankhya Yoga leads you to the understanding that I am a soul and I have a relationship with Krishna and I am here by mistake. That's all. Then what do you start doing? You want to know, how can I make good my mistake? How can I rectify my mistake? And how can I go back? So Sankhya Yoga leads you to Karma Yoga, where you are going to do what is required to take you back to Krishna. How to do that? You stop working for your own sense pleasures, because you know I am not the body only. So you do only the what is minimum required to maintain the body and soul together. The rest of the time you dedicate to prepare yourself to go back to Krishna, to attract his mercy. How can I go back to Krishna? That is how the rest of the life is led. Then it is called Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means Nishkamya, without attachment to the fruits. I don't want to enjoy the fruits. Arjuna would call him Kripana. If somebody wants to enjoy the fruits of his actions, he's called Kripana. He's a miser. You should offer it happily to the Lord. That is the Nishkamya Karma. Then in the last class, we read about the cycle of sacrifice, the wheel of sacrifice. That is, the Lord sent the Devatas and the human beings together into this material world. And he also sent the process of Yajna with them. He said, don't live selfishly. The Devatas will give you whatever you need, and as a gratitude, you should offer them back to the Devatas. Na mama, it's not mine, it's not mine. If you sit in a Yajna, you will hear this word frequently. The priest will be saying, while pouring the ghee, he will say, na mama, means not mine, not mine. So you are offering into the fire and saying, it's not mine, it's not mine. You are offering it to the Devatas. So that way, Yajna becomes the intermediary between the Devatas and the human beings. By doing the Yajna properly, you get whatever you need and you don't get sin. And you get whatever you need. And the best kind of sacrifice is you offer everything to Krishna. Not to the Devatas, but to Krishna. Whatever you cook for Krishna and offer it to Krishna and take it as his prasadam. Similarly, whatever you consume, first you have to offer it to Krishna and then only you can take it as prasadam. And obviously, what Krishna does not like, you cannot offer to him. And what you have not offered to Krishna, you cannot consume. So, what is not consumed by Krishna or what is not accepted by Krishna, you don't consume. So, within that bracket, meat comes. Krishna does not accept meat, so we become vegetarian. Not simply vegetarian, we take only prasada after offering to Krishna. Like that, these are the points we saw. Now we shall go further into understanding. I just briefly discussed what we have seen so far. So here it is very briefly I want to tell, because I don't want to eat up the time of today's class. This is all discussion of what we have seen so far. What are the types of work? So, the human being in the beginning is like an animal. Human being who has not got the knowledge of body and soul, who has not got the connection of a guru or scripture. He doesn't have the knowledge of anything transcendental. He is just like an animal, two-legged animal. At that time, his work is driven by the senses. What for? To get instant gratification. If he wants to eat, he will go and look for where is food. If he wants to sleep, he will try to look for a comfortable place to sleep. If he is threatened, he will try to see how I can defend myself. So this way, if he has a sex desire, he will want to go look for the opposite sex. These are all sense driven. This is the beginning. He is no better than an animal. And if somebody lives like this, this is the just do it mentality. Just do it is driven by senses. Just do it. So they are animals, no better than animals. Their destiny is to become animals in future births. They cannot progress. Tamogun, most covered consciousness. Then slightly higher stage, the mind-driven work. They try to get results by working hard. Work hard, party harder. So they say like that. So they want to enjoy the future, and today they want to work hard. They do material work only because the work is driven by mind. So they want to enjoy in this life. They are also godless people, but only thing, they are willing to work a little hard to enjoy tomorrow. Right work, wrong work, they will do both. So sometimes they get punya, sometimes they get papa, but they have not yet got connected with the scriptures or guru. So they are slightly better than the people who are in tamogun, who are only looking at immediate sense gratification. But at a higher level, these people will be looking for name, fame, power, position, prestige, accumulation of wealth. I want to attract attention from others. So they will work hard. So they will produce material achievements, and they will definitely be better than those who are in the previous stage. They are willing to work hard in the faith that this hard work will give me results in future. The first kind of people, they have no faith at all. They immediately run behind sense pleasures. But the second category, they have a little faith that if I work, I will get results. So then, now the scriptures. This is the stage when you are connecting to the transcendental. You are going to the scripture, and the scriptures give some selective work like various yagyas or tapasyas or charities as per the scriptures. They promise not only in this world you can be happy, but you will also go to heaven when you die. So they develop faith in a place called heaven, where I can live longer and I can enjoy much more pleasures. So here the man is getting in touch with the scripture, but he is still living selfishly. He is still on the bodily platform. He knows, okay, this body will die, but I will continue to exist in another body in heaven. So he is developing some knowledge with the help of scriptures. He understands not only in this world, there is a better world called heaven. Higher planets are there. So the scriptures, he is developing faith. He is developing some faith in the guru, but he is using it for sense pleasures. Not only in this world, but also in higher worlds. So he is higher than the other categories. Then somebody gets into the varnashramic duty. Up to the third point, varnashrama was not there in the picture. But then, if someone accepts the varnashrama system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he fits himself in one of these. And Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, these are the ashramas. So he fits himself into these and lives according to varnashramic rules given by Manu Shastra, and by other acharyas. On a lot of detailed guidelines are there on how to live varnashrama life perfectly. They follow the varnashramic duty in the belief that this will give me a good life free from sins, not only in this life but in future life. They are willing to do all varnashramic duties, not just selectively. They are just willing to follow varnashrama for a good this life and next life. What happens to them? They steadily progress from tamoguna to rajoguna to sattva and higher levels of sattva guna. So once you come to varnashrama, you are progressing. And the purpose of varnashrama is Vishnu becomes pleased. That is the purpose of varnashrama. So when Vishnu is pleased, when Vishnu becomes pleased, when the soul is making progress, that is when Vishnu becomes pleased. So varnashrama system is meant for the pleasure of Vishnu. It is not an economic system, even though it works in every angle. But varnashrama is not a social economic system. It is addressed to the soul. It is meant for developing the soul for a higher purpose, not to enjoy in this world. Varnashrama system is not that I am bigger than you, I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, not like that. They are not better actually. They have more rules to follow. Brahmana has the most number of rules to follow. He has to live a simple life. He should not be greedy. He should always work for the welfare of everyone and for God. This is the way a Brahmana should live. Otherwise, he will lose his Brahminical quality. So in Varnashrama, the higher the Varna you have more responsibility. Not that to become proud. Actually, if somebody is proud, he is a fallen person. A person high in the Varna is not supposed to be proud. So then Varnashramic duty. So, but now you see, this point also is Varnashrama duty. But the difference is, in the previous case, he wants to enjoy the results of performing Varnashramic duty. He knows Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. I can get all benefits by following Varnashrama. So he wants to enjoy Dharma, that means he wants Punya. Then Artha, he wants to earn wealth in a proper way. Then Kama, legitimate desires he wants to fulfill. And ultimately Moksha, he wants to prevent rebirth. So, but in the latest case, whatever prescribed Varnashramic duty without attachment, he is not becoming attached to the duty he is performing. Rather, he is saying, I am doing it because it is my duty. I have no right to the results. I am just doing my duty. By doing this, what he wants to go beyond material world. He wants to reach Brahman. So when you do Varnashramic duty without attachment, you will go beyond birth and death. You will go to Brahman. So this is a higher level. This is a really spiritual level. A person can go to Brahma Jyoti. Then, at an even higher level, he does his Varnashramic duty. See, in Varnashrama, I have given you 3 points now. Last 3 are Varnashrama. He does prescribed duty, but he offers the fruits to Krishna. In the previous case, without attachment, he goes to Brahman. But in this case, he is offering the fruits of his prescribed duty to Krishna. So he will become a devotee. And he will go beyond the Brahman, he will go to Krishna. Gradually, he will become purified and he will go to Krishna. There will be steady purification and he will go back to Krishna. That means in the beginning stages, he will find it difficult, but as he continues to do, it will become easier and more pleasant for him. He will develop more and more love for Krishna. And even higher than this is exclusively serving Krishna for his pleasure in bhakti. These are the pure bhaktas who are 24 hours engaged in only what Krishna wants. If Krishna wants something, they will do. If Krishna doesn't want something, they will not do. Like Arjuna. So these are the types of work. Now we will start the shlokas. I will try to move a little fast, but the essence I have already covered. Because I am reading all the shlokas, it takes a little time. So let us see how we can manage. Naivatasya kritenartho na knet na kriteneha kaschana nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidartavyapashrayah. A self-realized person has no purpose to achieve either by performing his duties or by not performing them. See, here Krishna is again bringing Arjuna to this tantalizing point. He says, if you are self-realized, meaning I am not the body, I am beyond this material world. So for such a person who is realized, see, you also know, by now we have read Bhagavad Gita, I know, you know, we are not the body, we are spirit, soul, but still we are not self-realized. We have a theoretical knowledge, but by practice we will become self-realized. We are beginners, we are called what? Called sadhaka. But when we become realized, such a person has no purpose to achieve either by performing his duty or not performing his duty. See, usually what will happen, if I am interested in the result, I will do my duty carefully, like studying for an exam. If I am not interested in the result, then why I will study? So naturally what happens, those interested in the fruit will work hard, those not interested in the fruit will not work hard, they will become casual, lazy. But here what Krishna is saying, a self-realized person has no purpose to achieve either by performing or by not performing. Both are same to them. Both are same. Performing, not performing, both are same. They will not run away from battle. They will not run away from battle. If it is a duty, they will say, all right, I will do it. Even though they have to achieve nothing, they will do. And he depends on nobody because he has no need, no want in this material world. He has no need, no want in this material world. So he's not dependent on anybody. I just chose the picture of Vidura here. Vidura, he's the younger brother of Dhritarashtra. And he was treated very badly by Duryodhana. And his elder brother Dhritarashtra did not bother only. So at one point of time, Vidura was so much insulted and Duryodhana banished him from the country. And Vidura became very happy. He was never really bothered about these royal facilities and other things. So what he did, he kept the bow and he simply left. Absolutely, he said, you cannot carry anything with you, Duryodhana said. You can only take your breath with you. And you leave my country. And Vidura left. Actually, Vidura is incarnation of Yamaraj. So he was a self-realized soul. For him, duty, no duty made no difference. So now, Shloka 19. Tasmadasakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purushaha. So, therefore, without being attached to fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. Because by working without attachment, you can attain the supreme. So one should execute the duty without attachment. This is the point Krishna is driving again and again. You must do your duty, you should not run away. Krishna is not giving us the choice. We must do the duty at the same time, not because we want to enjoy the results. So no attachment. No attachment to the duty and to the fruits of the duty, but we have to do it to the best of our ability. That way what we will get? We will attain the supreme. Paramapnoti, you will reach the highest destination. You will go beyond life and death. You will go reach the Brahman when you are not attached. So here King Parikshit, what happened? Suddenly he was cursed that he will die in 7 days. He was not at all disturbed because he was never attached. He was only performing his duty. But now he got the message, in 7 days I am going to die. He immediately, what he asked all the sages? He asked a very interesting question. What is the duty of a person who is about to die? What is the duty? Actually, none of us know when we are going to die. So, the answer what Parikshit is seeking, it is also for us. So, Parikshit said, what is the duty? Again, he was very duty focused. When somebody is going to die in 7 days, what are his duties? And he simply left his kingdom. He was the king of the world. He left everything. And see, here he is sitting in front of Sukadeva Goswami, getting the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. Immediately he detached himself because he was never attached. But anyone seeing will think he is attached because he is wearing a royal crown, royal paraphernalia, he is riding on a nice chariot and he is having his wives, children and so many perquisites. But the one moment he threw away everything and he came into the forest. So that shows he is detached. And Shloka 20. Karmanaivihi samsiddhim astita janakadayah lokasangraham evapi sampashyan kartu marhasi. So here is the only name Krishna is giving in the whole of Bhagavad Gita as an example. He is giving the example of Janaka. King Janaka, he is the father of Janaki Devi, Sita Devi. He is King Janaka. He was a perfected soul. How was he perfected? By performing his duties diligently. He became a perfect self-realized soul. But after he became self-realized, did he stop doing duties? This is the question I want you to think. When he became self-realized, did he stop doing his duty? The answer is no. he continues to do the duties. Why? To set an example to the citizens. Because citizens are not on his level. Understand? Citizens are not on the level of Janaka. And Janaka is like the father of the citizens. So, even though Janaka has no need to perform duties, but the citizens should not think, oh, my king is not doing, I also need not do. Only to protect them from falling down, the king continued to do the various yagyas, charities, these daily duties, everything he was doing perfectly as a king. So, Krishna gives that example. They attained perfection, but even then they continued to do. Why? Because to serve as an example to people, and he is telling Arjuna, you also should be like that. And 21 to 24 shlokas I will read now. Yadyadacharati shreshthas taddadevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Please note down, this shloka you should memorize along with the translation. I will read again. Yadyadacharati shreshthas taddadevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Whatever action a great man performs, Krishna is telling, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So Krishna is warning Arjun, you be a good role model because you are a leader of men, you are a Kshatriya, you are a general, you have to be a good role model. Whatever you do, common men will follow. Wish somebody would tell our politicians all these things, right? 22. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. Krishna says, O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me. Krishna is saying, I have no duty. Within all the three planetary systems, upper, lower, middle planetary systems, I have no duties to perform. Nor am I in want of anything. I also don't want anything. Why should I work? Number one, I have no duty. Number two, I am not in want of anything, need of anything. No, why should I work? And yet, I am engaged in prescribed duties. Krishna is telling, I am engaged in prescribed duties. And Shloka 23, Yadihyaham navarteyam jatu karmanya tandritaha mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Krishna says why he is doing like that. If I don't perform my duties carefully, Arjuna, all men would follow my path. So easy. Krishna is not doing any duty, so I will also not do any duty. So here in the picture we see Krishna riding the chariot for Arjuna. He is performing the duty of a charioteer. He also performed duties of a messenger, counselor, advisor. He did activities of a politician. He also fought battles as a king. So he did so many things. But he does it only to set a good example for others. So none of us have an excuse to give up our duty except when we want to serve Krishna 24 hours. Then yes, we can give up our duty. We will come to that later on. 24th shloka. Utside yurime loka nakuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami ma prajaha. Krishna is further explaining, if I did not do my prescribed duty, all the worlds will be ruined. And because of me, unwanted population will be produced. How unwanted population is produced? Then people don't have duties to perform. What they will do? They will do sense gratification. Then people have no duties and they are not perfect. If somebody is perfect, that's a different matter. But somebody not perfect and they don't have any duty, what they will do? They will do only sense gratification. And what will happen? The senses will burn like a fire. They will grow powerful, more powerful fire will burn. And because of that, what will happen? Unwanted children will be produced. Because the varnas will mix. So people will not know their duties. Once varnas are mixed, actually it's difficult for you to know your duty. You need a guru to tell you what is your duty. Because I don't have a varna only. I don't have ashrama also. How will I know my duty? So Krishna says, it will result in unwanted population. And because of that, the peace of all living beings will be destroyed. Now you know why we are not peaceful in this world. We have destroyed the varnashrama system. So now we are not peaceful. What is varnashrama system? I have not yet explained to you. Here and there, bit, I am explaining. But yes, we will come to a stage when I will explain varnashrama. The most misunderstood concept. because people think Varnashrama is a system for exploitation. It has become like that today. Nobody can deny that. But that's not what it is meant to be. Varnashrama is created by Krishna. Krishna is not an exploiter. Krishna is a servant of everybody. How he will exploit and why he will want to exploit? He is in need of nothing. All souls are his children. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all are his children. Not only that, the animals and birds are also his children. the worst poisonous snakes and scorpions are also his children. So Krishna has no particular favorites. He wants everybody to be peaceful. So these are the 4 shlokas what I have covered here in this slide. So Krishna is saying, whatever a great man performs, common men will follow. So none of us, see, you may ask, no, I am not a great man. But the problem is, a father is responsible for the whole family. So father becomes a great man. So if I am a grihastha, I am a great man. My children, my wife, they will be led by me. Same way, a teacher is a great man for the students. So teacher has to be exemplary. He cannot simply teach don't smoke and outside he can go and smoke. Teacher should not believe that. Whatever he is teaching, he should exemplify. That's called acharya. The teacher in English has no meaning. The word acharya has a lot of meaning. Acharya means one who is following in his life. That's called acharya. He is only competent to teach, you see. Now you see why our education system is going back to worse. Because we don't have acharyas as teachers. They teach, but they don't mean what they teach. They don't follow what they teach. So how can you have a good education system? You need Gurukula for that. Now you see the importance of Gurukula. Gurukula, you have acharyas, not teachers. Teachers, I will learn the book and I will teach you. Nothing will touch me. I will read the book and I will teach you. That's all. I will pass some exam and I am competent to teach you. This is how we select people, no? We don't select people on the basis of qualities. We just select them based on what they have read and passed. So this is a very major lapse in the world today. So Krishna says, you have to set an example. So teacher, father, and another example, the ruler of the country. Anyone who is in a leadership position, you are a manager of a company, then you are a leader for those who are working under you. You are a CEO, you are a top brass, you are a politician. As leader anywhere, even a film star is becoming a leader now. So film star has to be exemplary behavior. So this is what Krishna is telling. Anyone who is in a leadership position has to be exemplary. Otherwise, there is a problem. 25th shloka. Sakta karman avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tada shaktas chikir shurloka sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to result, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. So Krishna is telling, 2 people act in the same way. Who are these 2 people? Ignorant people and learned people. How interesting. What do you think? Both ignorant people and learned people act similarly. Here in the picture, you see 2 people fighting. Can anybody guess? Can you put it in the box? Who are these 2 people fighting? 2 people fighting. Ignorant and learned act in the same way. Here we see 2 people acting in the same way. Shiv Kumar Prabhu writes, Bhima and Duryodhana. Very right. Bhima and Duryodhana are fighting. Both are fighting with mace. Sujit Jana Prabhu. Yes, thank you. So, both are fighting with a mace. And they are hitting each other. They are doing the same act. One is ignorant. That is Duryodhana. And one is learned, Bhima, because Bhima is fighting for the pleasure of Krishna only. Krishna wanted him to fight, he is fighting. It is for Krishna's pleasure. If Krishna said, Bhima, I don't want you to fight, Bhima will stop fighting. Even though Bhima has vowed that I will kill Duryodhana, I will kill all the 100 Kauravas as a revenge. And personally I will kill all of them. So, the rest of the Pandavas, they did not kill any of the 100 Kauravas. They all were killed by Bhima only. Dushasan, he pierced his limb. Why? Because with that hand only he pulled the hair of Draupadi and pulled her sari. He pulled his limb out by his bare hands. And Duryodhana, he said, I will pierce your thigh, because he asked Draupadi to come and sit on his lap. He said, I will smash your lap. So with the mace he did that, smashed it. But at the same time, if Krishna had told him, No Duryodhana, no Bhim, I don't want you to fight. He says, okay, my lord, I am your servant. Whatever vows I might have taken, how does it matter? But Krishna would never do that because any of his pure devotee, he would not want to break their word. Krishna would always assist them. This is the special relationship between devotee and the Lord. But anyway, here, both of them work similarly. Why? The ignorant people are working to enjoy the results. They are attached. But the learned people, they don't want to disturb the ignorant people by not doing their prescribed duty. If they don't do, then what will happen? The ignorant people will say, oh, he's a role model, I also will not do. So, the learned people also do the duty. The ignorant people also do the duty, but the mentality is different. The learned man is setting an example for others. He is not attached to the results. He is working with diligence. Both the learned and ignorant will work with diligence. In fact, the learned will work with greater diligence because he is not attached to the results. But those who are attached to the results will be so much fearful. They will be very hesitant in their work because they are so focused on the result. And they may do improper things also. By thinking, by shortcuts, I will achieve my goal. They are not interested in the work, they are interested in the result. But here, the learned man is not interested in the result, but he is interested in the work. So he will do a better work. So Sloka 25, we have seen, without attachment, they want to lead, they want to serve as a lead, that's all, no other purpose. 26. Na buddhi Bedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. So here Krishna explains further. The learned men should not induce the ignorant men to give up work. See, the learned man knows one thing. What is that? By doing work, you become bound. You become conditioned. You become caught in the cycle of birth and death by working with attachment. Work binds us if we are attached to the work. So, a learned man should not tell the ignorant man, no, it's not good, you are getting bound, don't do like that. Are you getting the point? The learned man should not try to lift people up straight away by saying, don't do work with attachment. Because they cannot give it up. They are used to enjoying the fruits. If you force them, what they will do? They will give up the attachment to fruits, but they will give up the work also. The moment you say fruit is not required, then they will stop work also. So learned men should not induce ignorant men to give up work. Rather, this will disrupt their minds. What will happen? They will, okay, I should not look for the results, then I will not do the work. The student will stop studying, the manager will stop managing, the CEO will stop looking for running the company profitably, the lawyer will stop arguing, the engineer will stop doing diligence in his job. So the whole society will become ruined, minds will become ruined. So what the learned man should do? He should work hard and he should engage the other people also in working hard in their prescribed duties. Why? Because by doing prescribed duty, they will gradually advance towards Krishna consciousness. By doing prescribed duty, you advance gradually towards Krishna consciousness. If you do your work without attachment, you advance very fast. If you do your work offering the fruits to Krishna, then you straight away connect to Krishna. But if you don't do your duty at all, you fall down terribly, Varna Sankara. So, doing duty with attachment is better than not doing duty. Duty is very, very important. It should be performed. Without attachment, very good. But at least with attachment, you cannot neglect duty. So, Krishna says, learned men should engage ignorant men in duty. Learned man is not interested in the fruit. But he will not tell the ignorant man, don't desire the fruit. He should say, you desire the fruit, it's alright. But do your work properly. And what will happen by this process? Gradually they will develop Krishna consciousness. Please note down. Why? Why doing the duty with attachment is better than not doing the duty? The reason is, by doing duty, you develop Krishna consciousness gradually. Not very fast, But gradually, it's good, no? The other result is you will fall down if you don't do duty at all. If you don't do duty, but you are interested in the fruits, you don't do duty, you fall down to animal existence. So that is the difference. So here, the picture I have given because Yudhishthira Maharaj performed various yagyas, Ashwamedha yagya, Rajasuya yagya. You know why he performed the yagya? To serve as a good example to his people. Not only that, he had one more purpose. He wanted to glorify Krishna. I see Krishna is sitting Agra Puja. He gave the first puja to Krishna, even though various demigods, see, even Brahma, Narada, they are not attending. But in the presence of even demigods and the great kings, Yudhishthir gave the respect, the worship to Krishna, to proclaim Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Shiva and Brahma are there. No, even in their presence, Krishna, even though Krishna is a human being in that Leela, you see, Krishna is a human being in that Leela, even though he's not a human being, acting like a human being. But Yudhishthira wanted everybody to know he's not a human being. He's higher than Shiva and Brahma. That is why Yudhishthira performed yajna. He has so one thing, he wants to set a good example to his people. But most important, he wants to glorify Krishna as a pure devotee. Okay, so 27. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. I gave the picture of New York City. The translation of the shloka is like this. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Once again, the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities. Okay, so we all are spirit souls. We all are spirit souls, but we are in this body and we think we are this body. So because of this bewilderment, we think I am the doer of everything. I am doing my work, right? And I am enjoying the fruits of my work. We are thinking like that, but actually we are not doing the work. I have already told you, the soul is like a bird sitting on a tree. The body is the tree. The soul is the bird. Then how can the bird have anything to do with the tree? It is only eating the fruits in the tree. It is doing nothing else. So how the body is acting? Paramatma is making the body act. Why Paramatma is making the body act? As per the desires of the Jiva, the Paramatma is making the body act. The Jiva cannot act. Jiva is a very, very tiny particle of Krishna. On behalf of the Jiva, Krishna is directing the three modes to act. Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Guna. These modes are sitting in my mind, my senses, my intelligence. They are acting. So whatever this body is doing, it is done by the three modes of nature. Not me, but I am in illusion, bewildered. I think I am doing. So the moment I think I am the doer, then I have to also experience the results of my action. I become bound. The moment I expect the results of my action, I become bound. So I should never think I am the doer. I should think the three modes are doing under the guidance of Krishna, under the guidance of material Prakriti. I am not the doer. So I am not the experiencer also. I am not the enjoyer also. I am not the controller also. This is the correct knowledge. So this is a very, very important shloka. You can memorize this also. Shloka number 29. Along with the translation, it's an eye-opener for all of us. We should not think I am the body. When you accept the body as me, then you accept so many relationships with the body. You will say, I am a manager, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, or I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, I am Indian, I am Chinese. We develop so many designations. Or I am a father, I am a mother, I am a husband, I am a child. All these are designations. The moment we get into designations, then we get into so many delusions. Mine and, not mine. We get that. Me, mine. Develop attachments. And because of that, we become strongly bound to the material world. That is called bewilderment. But by understanding, I am not the doer, then you can become free. Whatever may be happening outside, you can become free. So, once Srila Prabhupada was walking on the streets of New York City and he asked his foreigner disciples who were going with him, he asked them, who created all this? Then Prabhupada gave a answer. They could not answer it. Then Prabhupada said, it is the sex desire in men which has resulted in this huge structure. He is speaking from the scriptures. Prabhupada is speaking from the scriptures. It is the desire for sex, the attraction of the opposite sex. Striyo pumsa maitunir bhavametam. The attraction for the opposite sex is behind all the actions that happen in this world. So if one can become free from the bodily attachment, like this bewildered spirit soul, if you become free, if you can understand only the Prakriti is doing everything under the modes, then you can become free from this. So every work which is carrying on in this material world, it is by the three modes of material nature. They act by creating attachments and aversion. They act like that. So 27, 28. Tattvavittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartant. Sorry, I think I skipped one shloka. Okay, yeah. 28, yes. Tattvavittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. One who knows the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. So here, one who knows the absolute truth. What is the absolute truth? Krishna is absolute truth. And to know that Krishna is the supreme soul and I am part and parcel of that soul, of the supreme soul. I am a jiva. I am part and parcel of supreme soul. I am his eternal servant. This is the absolute truth. I am eternally the servant of God and I am not this body. The body is my tool. Body is my instrument. By knowing that, you will never engage in sense gratification. Why? You will know Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Rishikesha. About bhakti, there is a definition. Rishikena, Rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruttama. Rishika means our senses. Rishikesha means the controller of the senses. So, all my senses are actually the servants of Krishna. So, I should use my senses to serve Krishna. That is the correct use of the senses, and that is called bhakti. All my senses should be used in the service of Krishna. That is true bhakti. So, anyone who knows the absolute truth will not engage in sense gratification, because sense gratification is the body. I am not the body, I am a spirit soul, and he knows if I engage in sense gratification, I will be trapped into rebirth again and again and again. So he realizes there are two types of work. Two types of work. What are the two types? One is work in devotion, offering everything to Krishna. That is work in devotion. Offer the fruits to Krishna. The second is working for fruitive result. That is, I want to enjoy. So two types of work. One is work offered to Krishna. Second is work for my sense enjoyment. The knower of absolute truth understands that working for Krishna is the best way for liberation. That way I will become liberated. So only such a person knows that Supreme Lord Krishna is the enjoyer of everything. So in that mood, he achieves perfection. 29. Prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu Tana Krishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and they become attached. Someone was walking along the river along with a friend, and then he saw one huge kambal, woolen shawl floating on the water. And he said, I will go and bring the shawl, I can use it. So he jumped into the water. But the water, there was a fast current. And he picked up the carpet, the shawl, but then he continued to flow with the water. So the man who was on the shore, he said, maybe it is heavy, you leave it and come, save yourself. But this man said, oh, I have left it already, but it is not leaving me. Why? Because it was not a woolen shawl, it was a bear, a bear balu. It was being dragged by the water. And this man thought it is a shawl, I will pick it up. But when he picked up, the bear picked him up. The bear hugged. The bear hugged him. and he could not escape. Like that, in this material world, the moment you want to enjoy the material prakriti, japatiyadar, it will catch you. It will not allow you to leave. It will give you different bodies. It will say you can enjoy in this body a little more. I will give you a lot of facilities you enjoy. So once we start enjoying material pleasure, the Maya will catch us. After that, it becomes very difficult for us. That's why we should not engage. But unfortunately, the ignorant fully engage in material activities and they become trapped. They become trapped. But again, Krishna says the wise men should not unsettle them. Although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. These duties are performed by people who are not very intelligent. But still, the learned will not disturb them. Why? Why? Because if they don't do these duties, they will create Varna Sankara. They will spoil the society. So, at least let them do the work and enjoy the fruits according to Varnashrama Dharma. Let them do their duties and enjoy the fruits. That's better. At least Papa will not come. They will get Punya. They will get Punya. So, wise men should not disturb them. Even though they are not very intelligent, wise men should not stop them. You should not think, no, why wise man is not stopping them? You should not think like that. Because if you stop them, they will fall down further. So you should not stop them. That is the meaning behind it. So here, Emperor Prithu was a self-realized soul. He performed many yajnas. What for? He did not do also. He engaged the common citizens who are not devotionally advanced. He engaged them in Varnashrama duties. So that they will not fall down further and the society should not be ruined. Varna Sankara should not be created and the peace of all the living beings should not be lost. Krishna said, no, peace of living beings should not be lost. So there is a purpose. So we come to the last sloka of today. Very good sloka. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya dhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Therefore, O Arjun, I am displaying it here. Surrendering all your work unto me. See, Krishna is saying, work in devotion, right? This is Krishna's conclusion. Surrender all your work to me. Very clearly, there are several bullets, so please take note. Surrendering all your work to me means the fruits of all your work. You work for me. That's what Krishna is saying. Surrender all the work to me means you work for me. Work for me means the results belong to Krishna. I am Krishna's servant. I am working for him. So results belong to him. In full knowledge of me. What is a full knowledge of me? Prabhupada gives a nice example. A cashier in a bank may be counting millions of dollars for his employer, but he does not claim 1 cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. So Krishna says, in full knowledge of me, know that I am the proprietor of everything. In that knowledge, you surrender everything. Be my servant, be my worker, and don't become attached. Offer all the fruits to me. Then he's saying, without desire for fruit or profit, because that means you are stealing from Krishna. You are working for Krishna. But the profit if you take, you are a stealer. You are a thief. So don't desire the fruit. The moment you desire, what will happen? The bear will hug you. So don't desire the fruit. Dangerous. Don't desire the fruit. Krishna is saving us actually. Sometimes we may become envious. Why I should work and Krishna should enjoy? Because, why Krishna is saying? Because Krishna is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Foolishly we are looking for enjoyment in the wrong places. So Krishna says, don't look for enjoyment there. Give it to me. Become free. I will give you all the enjoyment. So without desire for fruit. And then with no sense of ownership of action and the result. Don't think I am the doer, nor think I am the enjoyer. Become free from any such claim. And free from lethargy. Free from lethargy. From where lethargy will come? Here, for example, Arjuna came to the battlefield to fight only. But the moment he saw his acharyas, his brothers, his elders, his most respectable family members, then he developed lethargy. He did not want to fight because of some worldly attachments. So Krishna is telling, don't have that attachment. Because you are surrendering the work to me, you better do a good job. I'm free from lethargy. What do you have to do? Finally, fight. fight the battle. This is what Krishna is saying. Surrender all the work to me, in full knowledge of me, without desire for fruit, with no sense of ownership of action and result, free from lethargy, fight the battle. So here you see this beautiful picture. This picture is from an amazing book called Brihat Bhagavata Amrutam, written by Sanatana Goswami, one of the acharyas of the Gaudiya Vaishnava movement. So you see Krishna, you can see the lotus face of Krishna. And the boy who is hugging him is actually Gopakumar. Gopakumar is a representative of the souls. Like you and I, he's another soul. But he developed complete detachment with the material world. He chanted the mantra of Krishna steadily. It was given by a guru, and he went on steadily chanting. What happened? He went higher. He first went to Indraloka. As a result, he was not attached. They made him Indra. No attachment. He was very unhappy. Then he went to Brahmaloka. They made him Brahma also. He was not interested. He was always meditating on Krishna, etc. Then they sent him to Ayodhya. Ayodhya, he saw Lord Ram. But still, he was very happy, but not fully happy. So Ram could notice that he's not very happy. So he told Hanuman, hey, you take him to Dwarka. So he was taken to Dwarka. In Dwarka, he saw Krishna. But he was not all that happy. He met Uddhava, Narada, all these people. But he was still not very happy. And all the people in Dwarka were telling, hey, you have come to Dwarka, why you are still not happy? But why you are dressed like a cowherd boy? The Gopakumar was a cowherd from the beginning. So they said, why you are dressed like, we will give you royal robes like us, you can dress nicely. You can put on a nice crown, and you can put on nice earrings and armlets and anklets and all ornaments we'll give you. Nicely you dress up. We'll give you a sword, royal Kshatriya. He was not interested. He was still morose and all that. And Krishna was also there. Then ultimately Uddhava and Narada, they spoke to each other. They found out that his mind is set on something else. Then they send him to Goloka Vrindavan, where he meets Krishna. Krishna has gone for grazing the cows, and Krishna is returning after grazing the cows. And this Gopakumar is standing in the way, and Krishna from a distance, he sees Gopakumar. You remember, now only he is going to Goloka. Gopakumar has just now come to Goloka. Till now he was not to be found. Krishna came running from a distance. He left Balram, he left all the cows, he left all the cowherd boys. He came running and hugged Gopakumar. And Gopakumar, the moment Krishna hugged him, Gopakumar's eyes started showering like a Yamuna river, the tears. His body started trembling in great joy and ecstasy, and they hugged each other so tightly, and they both fell down unconscious. Anyway, another day I will explain to you more of this story. And this is what Krishna is waiting for all of us to return to him. That's why Krishna is waiting, and that's why Krishna has created this world, for us to try and enjoy as much as possible, and one day to become frustrated and to deeply desire Krishna. He wants only those who desire Krishna to come back to him. If I don't want Krishna and Krishna offers himself to me, I will not be happy. Until I want Krishna and nothing else, Krishna will not offer himself to me. But then, if I want only Krishna, nothing else, then Krishna will give himself to me. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita. That's the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So you're talking about yogi, karma yogi. This chapter is karma yoga, and the ideal yogi is Srila Prabhupada. Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma same yuktatamo madha. Krishna says in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, among all the yogis, one who is constantly meditating on me, who is always living in my memory, and whatever he does is dedicated to me, is completely absorbed in me. Such a person is the highest yogi, Krishna says. So Srila Prabhupada was such a yogi, and we are so fortunate that we are reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita under his guidance. So we are extremely fortunate. Let us chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much. I am open to questions. If any of you want to ask some questions, please raise your hand. You can ask questions from whatever we have read so far, right from the chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3. Anywhere you have some doubts or clarifications, you can say that. Sujit Jana Prabhu, you want to ask anything?
No problem.
Thank you. So thank you very much. So we come to the end of this session. I look forward to meeting you all in the next week. I hope you are getting the concise notes what I am preparing on a weekly basis, and also the audio. My intention is that though we meet only once in a week, you should continue to be ruminating on whatever you have learned here in your mind throughout the week, throughout the day, day after day. You should try and remember whatever you have learned and try and implement something like a few pages of Bhagavad Gita you read every day. Try to memorize a few shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. And as we discussed in the last week, start offering whatever you cook at home to Krishna. Start eating prasad. Very, very powerful method. Start doing it immediately without any further waiting. More things will come. But very important, please start offering to Krishna and have a habit of informing everything to Krishna. Start become a regular communicator. Tell Krishna, Krishna, I am going for such and such work. Please bless me. I want to take your permission. I am going to office. I am going to shop. I am going to do this particular service. Whatever it is, inform Krishna when you leave home. When you come back home, inform Krishna. When you wake up from bed, inform Krishna. Talk to him. When you go to bed, whatever happened during the day, you inform Krishna. Like that, make Krishna a part of your life. Start doing it now. It is this practice which is required. This is called sadhana. Please try and integrate this into your life. You will relish Krishna consciousness very much. Mohandas Prabhu, question?
Tanda Pranam Prabhu, I got a doubt
Yes.
that you kindly explain action in inaction.
Yes.
Inaction in action.
Prabhu, that is going to come. That is future.
Yes,
It will
yes,
come in future sessions. Yeah, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Tanda
Krishna.
Pranam. Tanda
Tanda
Pranam.
Pranam, Prabhu. Little, yeah, that'll come. That'll come. Dr. Raghavendra Rao Prabhu says, can you please share the PPT slides? I will try and see. I'm not so sure because it is all in a different format. I don't know to convert into PPT, etc. And also, I'm not sure if I share this PPT, it will make much sense. And it may also sometimes be slightly misleading if it is not accompanied by my talking. So, but I will consider this if I can modify it and send it in future. But it's not in a PPT format right now. It is a keynote format. I will try and see out. Thank you.
పన్నీర్
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय।